There comes a moment when the image of our life parts company with the life itself, stands free, and little by little begins to rule us.
I was quiet quitting for a whole year before I finally quit. It wasn't a bad job, not at all. The pay was decent, my team and my bosses were all good. And now that I think back, what was really bad about that job was me. I just couldn't work hard. I couldn't work hard in that job. I just mentally and physically couldn't. And I didn't have the courage to quit the job because it would be totally irrational to do so. So for a whole year, I was hating myself for being unhappy with a job, a life that is, according to popular social standards, decently good. As I became more and more bitter with my job and my life in general, I chose reading as my word beyond, as something I could gladly identify with. But there's nothing grand or elevated about my choice of reading as a fervent hobby. Despite being a literature major, I wasn't really passionate about reading. I read only when I had to. And I only started enjoying reading as an activity, as a hobby, when I consciously chose to do that, because it was kind of my only available escape. And one day, as I was reading late at night, with the only chunk of time that was actually mine to use, it suddenly hit me that I was passively living. I was submitting myself to a life that looked alien to me. I was moved around doing things I have to do rather than moving around doing the things that I want to do. And that's probably why I find it so hard to be contented with my life, because it was never what I want, but something that I passively accept as mine. And by intentionally choosing what to do with my time, I might be able to finally own my life. And with this epiphany, I finally mustered up the courage to quit. And it's now the 7th month into unemployment, and I wasn't as happy as I imagined, but I'm certainly not as unhappy as before. And I think I'm slowly owning my life. Look at this cute little goat. Sorry for the shaking. A disclaimer here, I had some savings and occasionally some translation gigs, so I knew I can survive unemployment for a while. And I don't recommend people to just quit without any assurance of survival. And actually, having a lot of time but not a lot of things to do is a horrifying thing. You'll be hyper-focused on yourself, on your emotions and anxieties, and everything will be exaggerated. So don't quit unless you are sure that you can survive and you know what to do with the extra hours. These are what I read in 2022. Not many consider the fact that I had a lot of time to read, but I had a good time with every one of them. I don't think they've brought me wisdom or any practical benefits. The books I read are useless in a utilitarian sense, but I didn't expect them to be useful either. They are interesting to read, and I had fun. That just sufficed for me. I spiritually befriended with Stefan Zweig, who's the best history teacher I ever had. Herman Hesse, my mentor and life coach. Albert Camus, the coolest friend, whose words are so light and heavy at the same time. And finally, Dostoevsky, my personal god, who enlightens me about myself and my fellow human beings. I had fun with it.